In this video, we're going to overview correlations, the steps to execute the statistical analysis, reasons for the analysis, and the output information that is important to consider for making informed decisions about your research question. So your research question might be, what is the relationship between two variables in my data set? At this point, we have age and sit-up scores, but that's probably not going to be very important to a physical education teacher in terms of informing them about their unit. So what I'd like you to do is examine the variables that are in your Excel file. And you should have something that looks like this, where you have your fitness, your psychomotor, your cognitive, and your affective assessments. Usually in cognitive assessments, we have cognitive written and cognitive observational assessments. Cognitive observational assessments are the ones that are usually associated with more error or more bias, so error stemming from the processes of observation where the criteria are open to subjectivity because what you see at one trial may not be exactly the same as what you see in the second trial, or that's probably more related to the psychomotor observation of skills from a mechanical standpoint. But cognitive observational assessment is similar in the sense that you are observing, and after observing several students, you may feel fatigue and so forth. So it's important to see if there is a relationship between the observational type of assessment you have, whether that's in affective or cognitive or psychomotor domains, and some other more objective type of assessment. So you may choose to do cognitive observational correlations with cognitive written, particularly if you have scores for the written assessment that range greater than 0 or 1. Because in order to have correlations or run a correlation, you need to have more variability than just a 1-point difference in possible scores. So the best idea would be to take the observational assessment and its associated cognitive written question and correlate that. But for our purposes, we're going to just correlate the relationship between cognitive observational and cognitive written. So as before, you want to exclude the dummy score and capture the scores that represent your one variable, in this case the cognitive observational, and paste it into your SPSS file. Label it. And then go back to your Excel file and take the raw scores for the cognitive written, copy those, paste it into your SPSS data view. We'll go back and label those again. Make sure you're excluding your dummy variable. Then you're ready to run the correlation. So in this case, we're examining the relationship between cognitive observational and cognitive written scores. So your research question might be, what is the relationship between cognitive observational and cognitive written scores? Of course, you're going to hypothesize initially that there is no relationship, and then wait to see the results to determine whether you are retaining that no relationship, no hypothesis, or if there's actually a relationship. So in order to run a correlation, as you might have already guessed, because I'm a little ahead of myself, you want to click Analyze, Correlate, and choose Bivariate. Once you have your box here, you choose the two variables that you're interested in, but you'll be able to choose other variables as well. So you might want to see if there's a relationship here with age, for example. And because we have scores that are non-objective in nature, we want to choose the Spearman correlation as well as the Pearson correlation. Our output, and you can see that, drag it in. There we go. Oh, it's still working. You can see for the Spearman's correlation, however, it is 0.132. Significance is greater than 0.05. Include here that there is no relation between score on what your actual test is measuring. So in this case, we might want to revisit the method we are using to observe and make sure that our observations are reliable from an intra-rater reliability